Amazon. Today, it's one of the most powerful companies on earth, valued at over $1 trillion, with influence stretching from e-commerce to cloud computing. But what if I told you that in its early years, Amazon was laughed at, dismissed as a money-losing bookstore, and nearly wiped out during the dot-com crash? This is the untold story of how Jeff Bezos risked everything, lost almost everything, and still built one of the greatest business empires in history. The story begins in 1994. Jeff Bezos was a rising star on Wall Street, working at a hedge fund in New York. But Bezos wasn't satisfied. He was obsessed with one thing: the internet. When he read a report that internet usage was growing by 2,300% per year, he realized this was his chance. He quit his high-paying job, packed his bags, and drove across the country with his wife, writing his business plan in the car. His idea, an online bookstore. Why books? Because there were millions of titles, far more than any physical store could ever hold. If he could build the Earth's biggest bookstore, he could dominate the market. But there was a catch. Bezos had almost no capital. So he went to his parents and asked them to invest their life savings. His mother and father gave him about $245,000, nearly everything they had. Bezos later admitted, "I told them there was a 70% chance they would lose it all." In July 1995, Amazon.com went live, operating out of Jeff's garage in Seattle. Orders trickled in, and Bezos and his small team packed boxes on the floor, driving them to the post office themselves. The business grew quickly, but it also bled money. For every dollar in revenue, Amazon lost even more in expenses. By 1997, Amazon had gone public, raising about $54 million in its IPO. The hype was huge. Investors loved the idea of an internet bookstore. The stock soared. But behind the scenes, Amazon was in trouble. In 1999, the company lost $720 million. Critics mocked Bezos, calling Amazon Amazon bomb. Fortune magazine even asked if Amazon was the next AOL, or the next disaster. Then came the dot-com crash. In 2000, the bubble burst. Internet stocks collapsed. Amazon's shares fell more than 90% from their peak. What once looked like a rising star suddenly looked like it was on the edge of bankruptcy. Competitors were disappearing overnight. Analysts predicted Amazon would be next. Inside the company, the situation was brutal. Cash was running dangerously low. Layoffs hit hundreds of employees. Vendors demanded payment, while customers demanded cheaper prices. Many insiders believed Amazon would not survive another year. Bezos himself admitted the company was just months away from running out of money. And yet, this is where Bezos showed his true genius. Instead of retreating, he doubled down. He slashed costs where necessary, but he also invested heavily in Amazon's core strengths: logistics, customer obsession, and technology. He pushed for faster delivery, a wider product catalog, and relentless innovation. One of the boldest moves came in 2005 with the launch of Amazon Prime. Unlimited 2-day shipping for $79 a year. Critics said it would bankrupt the company. Shipping was expensive, and Amazon was already losing money. But Bezos saw it differently. Prime would lock customers into Amazon's ecosystem, making them buy more. He was right. Prime members spent far more than non-members, and Amazon's growth exploded. Another pivotal decision came in 2006. Amazon Web Services, or AWS. At first, it seemed strange. Why would a bookstore start selling cloud computing? But Bezos understood something others didn't. Amazon had built world-class infrastructure to run its own operations. Why not rent it out to other companies? That gamble turned out to be one of the most profitable decisions in business history. Today, AWS generates tens of billions in revenue and is more profitable than Amazon's retail business. The rise of Amazon was not smooth. There were constant risks, massive debts, and skeptics at every turn. Bezos was even ridiculed for his maniacal laugh and his long-term vision that seemed disconnected from financial reality. But through layoffs, crashes, and countless near-death experiences, he never wavered. His motto was simple: it's always day one. In other words, Amazon would never stop acting like a scrappy startup, no matter how big it became. By the 2010s, Amazon was no longer just an online bookstore. It was the everything store, selling electronics, groceries, streaming content, and powering the internet itself through AWS. Competitors, who once mocked it, were now terrified. By 2018, Amazon became the second U.S. company in history to hit a $1 trillion market cap. But here's the truth. Without those early risks, the $245,000 gamble from his parents, the massive losses, the 90% stock crash, the endless ridicule, none of this would have happened. Amazon could have died 1,000 deaths. It survived because Bezos kept betting on the long term, when everyone else was focused on the next quarter. Today, Amazon employs over 1 million people worldwide and shapes the way billions of us shop, work, and live.
Ow.
But behind the success story is a simple reminder. Great empires are not built on comfort. They're built on risk, sacrifice, and the courage to keep going when the world says you can't. This was the untold story of Amazon. And next time we'll uncover how Tesla, a company on the brink of collapse more than once, shocked the world and redefined the future of cars.